Hello, everyone. You know what today is. Today is Monday, so you know what I'm going to say. Hello, Monday. That's right. It's a new week. It's a new day. It's a new you, and welcome to Hello Monday. It doesn't matter if you are watching this on YouTube or if you are listening to this on one of the streaming platforms. I just want to say thank you so much for joining me for Hello Monday with Dr. Angela. I'm really excited for this week. I think that this week is going to be amazing. Why you say, well, Dr. Angela, you say that all the time, but no, really. I think that there's a little bit of a shift in the air. There seems to be a desire for most people that I am talking with or spending time with, that there is a promptness. There's something going on that says we need to get it together really, really quickly. I think that because September is the end of the third quarter, right? There is a little bit of let's make sure that we have this thing, whatever it is that we need to do, that we have it and we have it locked in place so that when quarter four starts, we know exactly how we are going to end the year. Now, I'm a planner, right? So you guys know that not only do we have a plan in place for quarter four, but we are already trying to implement those things to start 2022 with quarter one. Some people don't get quite that far ahead, and that's okay, but you are planning for quarter four. And I think that that is really important, which is why I do things like this with Hello Monday, because I want to get you motivated for the work week. I want to get you motivated for those things that you have to do. So what is this week's theme? It is better and consistent. Better and consistent. Why are those two things important? Because we should always strive to be better than we were yesterday. And consistent because consistency is the key. We need to make sure that in those times that we know exactly what it is that we are going to do. We know what we're striving to accomplish, and we know exactly what we need to do to make sure that it happens. We must be consistent in all of the proper things that we need to do. So let's go on and get started. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go. Quote number one: success isn't about greatness. It's about consistency. Consistent hard work leads to success. Greatness will come. Success isn't always about greatness. So success isn't always about those limelight moments. Success isn't always about those very glitz glamour, those really big things, but success is about those things that we do consistently. How do we know? Because the rest of the quote says, it's about consistency. It is about doing those positive things over and over again. Sure, there will be things that we will do that will fail, that will be unsuccessful. Well, guess what? Now you know not to do that, but instead tweak it just a little bit to find that sweet spot. And once you find it, stay there, right? So it is about being consistent. The quote continues, consistent hard work leads to success. Greatness will come. I could not agree with this quote more. We know that the brands that we choose to utilize, purchase, look to for inspiration, they have been consistent. They will provide us with a quality product, good, or service over the years. And in many instances, it has not only been my lifetime, but it includes the lifetime of your parents or even your grandparents. So being consistent is so important. And we need to really, really look at that for the virtue and the value that it provides. If you are consistently providing poor quality, then that's what you're going to be known for. Poor quality. But if you consistently provide good value, if you consistently provide value or knowledge that it can be utilized, that can be put to use, that can actually take someone from A to B, then that person is going to want to consistently come back. Speaking of such, I just want to take a moment to tell you or remind you to make sure that you are subscribing, that you like and share this episode out to those that are in your tribe, that are in your community, so that they too can be inspired. Let's go on and look at quote number 2. Quote number 2 says, if you are persistent, you will get it. If you are consistent, you will keep it. I love, love, love this quote. If you are persistent, you will get it. That means if you keep going, don't let anything stop you, right? If you are persistent, if you keep knocking on those doors, if you keep making those phone calls, you are persistent. If you keep showing up. Now, back in the day, we used to hear about the stories of those who were ultimately successful, and especially artists that would say that they would show up at the record companies. They would show up at the film studios, right? And they were trying to meet with a particular person. And they didn't have any clout. They were just Joe Schmo off the street. They were just Jane Blaine off the road. You know what I mean? Like they were just a nobody at that particular time, but they were persistent. And after a while, the receptionist, secretary, admin, executive assistant, whoever that person was that was the gatekeeper, right? They would say, listen, I don't know if he's going to talk to you, but he'll be here or she'll be here at 2:00. Come back then. And there was your opportunity. They saw that you were persistent, that you weren't playing about pursuing your dream, but that you actually wanted this thing to happen. Being persistent means that you are showing up. It doesn't matter if one person listens or if nobody listens. You are still going to show up and make it happen. Let me tell you, when I first started off doing webinars, seminars, classes, courses, all of those things, many times no one would show up, but I had already booked the venue at the hotel, and it didn't matter how much marketing I did. I was a nobody at that particular time, and I had a few events where no one showed up. It cost me money, but then I had an event, and one person came. One person came, but that was such a blessing. Why? Because that one person told 10 people. And out of those 10 people that she told, initially all 10 of them showed up to the next event, became my clients. But then those 10 people decided that, oh, well, I'm looking for something different, or they graduated from that program, whatever it was. I didn't want Christian counseling, whatever it was. Make a long story short, of those 10 people, 5 people stayed. Of those 5 people that stayed, they in turn told their friends. Do you see what I mean? It's just about being persistent, not giving up. And in not giving up, people found out that I was consistent with the information that I was sharing, that I was giving good advice, that I was giving actionable tools and resources. And in that makes all the difference in the world. They knew that they could depend on me. They knew that they were going to get fed, if you will, for whatever it is that they were looking for at that particular time. The same is true for you. If you are persistent, you will get it. If you are consistent, you will keep it. Do not allow for someone else's slack to rub off on you, right? Do not allow someone else's lack of vision to jump off on you. There are going to be people that are your friends, have been your friends for your entire lifetime, that at some particular point may not be in your circle as much as they used to be. Not because they're horrible people, but because your aspirations have changed. Your desire to grow has changed. And because of that, you are going to move in a direction that you may have to leave them behind on occasion. It's okay. That is a part of life. It doesn't make them less than. It doesn't make you greater than. It just simply means that things have changed for that particular moment. If you are persistent, you will get it. If you are consistent, you will keep it. Let's go on and move to quote number 3. Quote number 3, imperfect action is better than perfect inaction. Imperfect action is better than perfect in action. I'm going to say that one more time because this quote is so incredibly powerful. Imperfect action is better than perfect inaction. I love it. I love it. I remember someone was talking about getting percentages of a particular something and how there are so many folks that are in particular industries that they get a percentage of what their client makes, right? So be it that they get 10% or 25%, whatever it is, or somewhere in between, they get a percentage. So it's in their best interest to negotiate the best contract, the highest paying contract possible for their client, because they get a certain percentage of that. You want to work hard for your client because you want to be rewarded handsomely. So the example that they gave is, you're out there grinding and you're handling your business and you're trying to make sure that your client has this amazing contract. And he says, let me tell you, 10% of $1 million is much better than 100% of nothing. And, in the live, there were some people that were laughing and joking and all of that. But I gave, the thumbs up. I gave the hearts. I gave the praise hands, and it was absolutely 100% of nothing is nothing. So that's where this quote comes in. Imperfect action is better than perfect inaction. Doing absolutely nothing is going to get you absolutely nowhere. But as you take this journey called life, as you go along this path of being a solopreneur, an entrepreneur, a boss babe, whatever it is that you are trying to accomplish, right? Along that journey, you are going to do some things, and you may do some things that aren't exactly spot on. But as you learn and you figure out what's going to work for you, I don't want you to discount that. I don't want you to laugh at that. I don't want you to say, how stupid was I for doing that? You have to learn. And many, many times the way you learn is by trial and error. There are so many people that are famous today, not because of their action, but because they realized that someone else had done it perfectly and they adapted that way of doing things. And it's like, hey, the wheel is the best thing rolling, right? We don't need to invent a new wheel, but we're constantly trying to make sure that the tread that is on that wheel is the best that it can be. So don't reinvent the wheel. Just make sure that the tread is ever getting perfect. Does that make sense? I hope it does make sense to you. So imperfect action is better than perfect inaction. What am I saying? Get up off your tuchus and get out there and make it happen. You cannot be a boss babe if you are not doing a something. You cannot be an amazing solopreneur if you are not doing a something. Put that on your list of accomplishments to do a something this week that moves you closer to your dream. Let's look at quote number 4. Quote number 4 is, for changes to be any true value, they've got to be lasting and consistent. For changes to be of any true value, they've got to be lasting and consistent. There we go again with that word consistent. They have to be consistent, everyone. I cannot stress that enough. If you are on Instagram and you are following certain influencers, one of the things that the influencers are going to tell you is that you need to be consistent. You need to be consistent in your posting. You need to be consistent with knowing what your niche is. You need to be consistent. You need to always do that thing. And when you slack off, you pay the price for slacking off. Now, the algorithm knows that you're trying to cheat, right? The algorithm knows that you're trying to do any hack that you possibly can. So it takes all of that into consideration as well. Well, guess what? Your customers, your clients, whatever you call the people that you serve, they will know when you're trying to cheat them as well. They will know when you're trying to do a certain hack so that you can get more for less work. Don't do that. But instead, do those things that will provide true value and be consistent in those things. For changes to be of any true value, they've got to be lasting and consistent. One thing that I have learned is that when you are purchasing things, you really need to think about quality, right? Now, you can purchase a pair of shoes for $5, $20, $100. Of course you can, right? But there are such differences in those shoes. A pair of shoes that cost you $5 might not last you a month. Sneakers that you buy for $20 might not last you a year. Sneakers that you spend $100 on, depending on how rough you are on your shoes, very well may last you a year, right? Because it is the quality of the product that they use in order to make the ultimate product in which you have decided to purchase. So in all those things, it must be true value that you are putting into the product or service that you are trying to provide. So when you use cheap products to produce a cheap product, sure, you may get a product, but that product will not be of its truest value. Therefore, it will not be lasting, nor will it be consistent. Does that make sense to you? I'm trying to put it into terms of ways of things that people may understand, right? Let's use the bubble gum. You used to be able to put in a quarter in the gumball machine and you would get one of those gumballs, right? Now, everybody knows that 25-cent grape gumball is going to give you all the sugar and all the flavor in about your first 15 chews. It is so good and you are so happy. And as a little kid, you didn't realize that it didn't last very long. But as an adult, you're like, oh my goodness, right? It was like that was 10, 15 really good chews. And now it has no flavor and it's breaking my jaw, right? It has gotten tough. It is not what you had hoped for. Of course not. It was only a 25-cent gumball. But in those first few chews, you had all the bliss that you wanted because you were happy in that moment. It is appropriate for the child, but it may not be appropriate for the adult. So as the changes that you go through, the various phases and stages of our lives, we need to have things that are of true value for the appropriate stage and phase of our life. So changes to be of any true value, they've got to be lasting and consistent. All right, boss babe, I want you to make sure that your true value, whatever it is that you are putting out there today, that it will be lasting and consistent. All right, Mr. Solopreneur, I want you to make sure that you are giving your clients true value. Even though you may not give them quantity, you are giving them true, lasting, and consistent value today. You can make it happen. Well, we are down to our last quote of the day, and I just want to say thank you so much for spending time with me here today on Hello Monday. I hope that I am giving you a quote that's going to really inspire you, that's going to help get you motivated and keep you motivated for the work week. Now, if you would like to visit my website, you can always find me at drangela.chester.com. That's drangela.chester.com. But by all means, make sure that you visit me and follow with me on social media. Now, on most platforms, I am Dr. Angela Chester. On Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, I am Dr. Angela Chester. I would love for you to join me. Now, beautiful ones, I know that you have a lot of things to do. Thank you for spending time with me here today. Always have an attitude of gratitude, and I am so mindful of the minutes that I am able to spend with you and that you are able to spend with me. So let's go on and get to the last quote of the day. Quote number 5 is, be stronger than your excuses. Be stronger than your excuses. I don't need to really explain this. This one is self-explanatory. Be stronger, ma'am. Be stronger, sir. Be stronger, sis. Be stronger, bro. Be stronger than your excuses. Put those excuses down. You have enough baggage already with the excuses that you have been carrying around. It is time to take them to the landfill. It is time to take them to the dump. It is time to put them out with the rest of the garbage for this week, because we are what? Stronger than our excuses. Thank you again for spending time with me here on Hello Monday. I hope that you have an amazing work week. Why? Because it is a new day. It is a new week. Therefore, it is a new you. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. And remember, today is an amazing day. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.